And first of all, I want to know, how are things going now with the pandemic? How are the trainings? How are you? What have you been doing?
Well, it's actually been good because we started over again. It was challenging and tough when we had a couple of months with no games, and I was in Sweden, and my staff was in Brazil, and the players were all over the place. But especially after the two games against Ecuador, we had 11 days together. We are on our way. We are improving certain things, and I'm really happy with everything that's working out to be great right now after such a difficult times.
Are you guys training again? No.
Yeah, we had the 10 days playing against Ecuador, and the players, if you go to Europe, the league goes on a couple of more weeks, and here in Brazil they play the last games. In China they vacation, and US as well, but everything goes as scheduled, so right now it's pretty good.
Okay. You are in charge of the Brazilian team since last year, and the official announcement occurred in July, if I'm not wrong. How was the backstage from this contract? What happened before?
No. Well, it started with a rumor. So I could, people ask me, are you gonna move to Brazil? And I was asking, what are you talking about? Because I was coaching U16 national team in Sweden. And eventually I got a phone call from Marco, Beatriz Vaz, and one more translator. And they just asked me right straight up, and I said yes. And didn't ask that much, because if you get an offer from the country of football, you have to say yes. So after that, I talked to my boss and say that I want to cancel my contract in Sweden and I want to go to Brazil. And no, it went off very well, to be honest.
Have you ever thought of living in Brazil before this invitation?
No, never. You look at the country and the games been playing, men and women, and you admire. Always admire the way they're gonna play, but never. I never even dreamt about to be moving to Brazil.
And then after this conversation with your boss, what did you do? Did you started to look for places to live? How it was?
No, what I did was actually to wrap up with the national team, first of all, to inform players I've had for young players for 2 years, and then make sure that I know who I'm working with. That is very important. So I decided to keep the staff pretty much. But also I wanted to bring one Swedish coach, so I felt comfortable. So I was thinking about how we're gonna play and who we're gonna work with and so on. It was first when I came here, then I looked for an apartment, and it's sorted out in a very nice way.
And are you enjoying Brazil?
I really do. It's first of all, it's a very good team, technical players. It is warm people I'm working with, and it's warm weather. Right now in Sweden it's dark, so I'm happy that I'm here right now.
Is it really cold in Sweden in this?
It depends on where you are. Where I still have my apartment in Stockholm. It's maybe -1 or something like that. So it's And it's dark. You know, the sun goes up 9 and then it goes down 3. So it's very different from here. That's for sure.
We can see that your relationship with the team is really amazing. You have a lot of funny moments together. And I would like to ask you how it was in the beginning, because you didn't know each other. So, how did you build this relationship with the girls?
Well, first of all, it starts with respect and to be generous. So I didn't know one word Portuguese before I came here, so I tried to learn some words at least, and then little by little get to know the players. It's all about to take step by step what you want to achieve, and to be relaxed. I think it's important. When you're focused, and when you're relaxed, you're really relaxed, and so you get your shoulder down, so it's not only serious all the time. And it's about to put them in groups. It's about to come up with different things we can do together. And but first and foremost, have fun on the field. So I made sure that they understood what I'm looking for, what kind of game we want to play. And I think step by step we've done better and better. And right now it's really fun.
I can imagine it is. Do you think having a woman in charge of a team of women's football is important? Do you think that the girls felt good, felt I don't know, they are happy having a woman with them?
I think all the players they want to improve. So I think they are happy if they get a coach that has a lot of knowledge. Now, I'm a big fan of, because it's not about only about one coach, it's about the staff. So for me, it's so important that that there are men and women in the staff. And I don't know what the players what they think, but what is important is that in order for me to be my very best, I need men and women around me. I need specialized different kinds of knowledge, young people and old people. So that mix, the diverse, that's what I like the most. And if you look around the world now, the reason why I'm saying it's important with women coaches is because, like when I was playing, you know, when I stopped playing, I actually could have a job and coaching a team. That's why it's important that we have female coaches as well, because in this team, for instance, there are so many good people and they've had good coaches. So you can imagine when they retire, how good it would be for the women's game if they continue and be generous and share their knowledge. So that's why I think it's important with female coaches as well.
You just said that Brazil is the football country, and we know that everyone in the world knows this and understands this as well. But we still have low visibility here when related to women's football. And how do you observe this?
Well, you know, when I played in the very beginning, my first international game was 1975. And you weren't born then, so it was a long time ago. And we never acknowledged, the media didn't acknowledge us at all. So I know how it is to not be acknowledged. The most important thing that you have somewhere to play. And we did, and then little by little, each generation has done good things for the next generation by fighting and saying good things. Whenever the media comes, you spread the word in a very good, very nice way. I think all the players I've been around and coaches, they've said good things about the women's game and how important it is. And I have to say, when I was here for the first time at CBF, I didn't see that many women. Now I do. So there is a very important word like change. And it seems like Brazilians embrace the change. Because if you're a real football lover, it doesn't matter if it's women or men or young or old. You can get out something from the game itself. So that's why you get rich if you also say yes to the women's game. And I think that is exactly what's happening right now. Media plays a very important part, because if you don't know about the game, if you don't know about what's happening, then you can't attend. But the more we spread the word, social media, media in general plays a very important part. And I think it's been so much better compared to back in the good old days.
So we want to know a little bit more about you, about your childhood in Sweden, how football came into your life. Could you please talk about it to us, please?
Well, it's like in many stories, people who are as old as I am, it starts with playing with boys. Many of us played with boys because we were not allowed to play football. So in the backyard, we play football. And if you really enjoy something, it doesn't matter what people think. You just do it. And that's exactly what I did in school. All the way to university, I played football. And one important thing I did was I changed to the next level, club teams. And then I was called up in the national team when I was 15 years old. And just to try to improve, try to compete against others, compete against myself. And I was lucky because I met coaches that had a time to discuss football with me. So eventually I ended up with education as well, football education. So now I have the UEFA Pro level. And that's thanks to people, coaches, they enjoy discussing football. So I was so interested, and then football has taken me to many countries like Norway, China, US, and even to Brazil. So I'm the lucky one because I've been part of this development of the women's game.
Have you ever faced sexism?
Not personally, but I've seen that there's. I've seen and I've heard about, of course. But I would say that the hardest obstacle for me is the attitude. So I'll give an example. Back in the good old days, you have 2 pitches, and you need somewhere to play. And we always get the last time. And people didn't think that what we did was important. So in the very beginning, they said, well, you're not that many. You don't really love to play football. But eventually that became people movement. So many girls wanted to play. And then they said, yeah, you know what? It's dangerous for you to play football because this is a game for men. But they didn't have any research. It was just emotional arguments. So we didn't care about that. And then they say, you're not good enough. And that is the hardest thing to argue, because what you compare, and who are you that say that the men's football is better than the women's? And the reason why I think that is important to actually look at on all levels, grassroots or on the international level, is because there might be people that want to, they can have a good life by playing football. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, and that is to be equal. But it's hard. Still, we have some attitude that they don't think women's football is as important as the men. Now, I would say it's very important not only for the sport, but also for the society. Because then if you have a girl and she starts to play football, she will be fit. She will stay in a team. She will have to deal with different opinions. And there's so many good things happening if you stay in a sport. And football is a great sport. So I think it's important for us to be able to play football, regardless if you have your dreams, regardless if you're a boy or a girl.
Do you think living these situations made you train more? Did you felt pressure over yourself? Like I have to train more to prove that I'm good and that I can do it, and then that I can do it with quality.
Not me personally. I've heard friends of mine saying that they were not allowed to do certain things, and then they just worked harder. But I didn't listen to that. So how would I put it? I was inside. I have this motivation because I really love to kick the ball, and I wanted to kick it better and better. I want to be able to do things like somebody else did, an older person than I, and I was also an older man. So I was driven about to compete against myself and try to learn from other football players. And if you do something that is fun, you continue forever and ever and ever. And that is exactly what I did. And then, competing against myself, I could do that forever as well. So that's the way I took and motivate myself.
You weren't born in 1958 when there was the World Cup in Sweden, but your parents were. So I can imagine that you grew up listening about this event. So what do you remember of this, of hearing about of your family about the World Cup?
Well, my mom and dad, they didn't know. Well, I knew, but they didn't talk about it. But they have neighbors. And when I was a little kid, I called myself Pelé because I heard about this fantastic game against Sweden. 5-2, we lost. And there was a player, Pelé. He was such a good player. And he scored a lot of goals. And I wanted also to score a lot of goals. So I called myself Pelé. I heard that story from neighbors, and everybody in Sweden talked about that because it was such a good and a huge game, final.
Didn't your family like football?
Nah, not really.
No. But when you started, they were okay with that.
Yeah, the thing is, when I was a little girl, I was not supposed to play football because there were no such a thing like a girls' football. But I had a very smart mother and a smart father, and they said, well, as long as you have fun and as long as you clean and not destroying everything, then it's okay for you to play football. So I played with boys, and in my city, they thought that it was a village. They thought that I was a little bit different, a little bit weird, a little bit awkward, but that's okay. And I was a happy child, and I just kicked that ball. That's all my life.
What are your expectations about the next World Cup?
Well, I don't think about the World Cup. I'll think about the Olympics to begin with. And hopefully it will be Olympics next year. When we look at the World Cup, hopefully then we have some younger players. And I have no doubt in my mind that it will be a great event. The World Cup 2019 shown that the women's game is very popular, and I think it will be even more popular going forward.
What are your expectations about the Olympics?
I think we have come up with a good plan again, road to the Olympics, and it has not been set in stone yet, but the plan is good. And I think now we got even a little bit more time. So there are some young players that actually has a chance to be a part of these 18 players going to the Olympics. And as you know, it's a very tough tournament, few days in between the games. As soon as you reach a quarterfinal, anything can happen, regardless Olympics or the World Cup. But the way we play right now, and the players playing together, some young players, I think we will compete, and I think we will do well. Then it all depends on if everybody's healthy and if they are, in a good shape and so on. But I'm really looking forward to this Olympics.
Nice. Yeah, what do you miss more in Sweden? You said that you like our weather because it's not dark, but what do you miss?
Of course, I miss my family. I have sister and brothers and my horse.
Do you have a horse?
I do have a horse.
How old is he?
That's a good question. 9 years old, I think. Actually, it's my sisters. They are horseback riding, and I've just started to horseback riding, so they teach me. So that is it's scary, but I'm trying and I'm improving a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna do during Christmas. I'm going horseback riding.
So are you going to spend the Christmas there?
Yes, in Stockholm.
What's his name? Your horse's name?
Flippan.
Oh, do you have a picture of him?
And that's her. No, I don't.
Oh, that's her. I'm sorry. Okay. So, Pia, for us to finish, I'm going to say thank you. And Gabi, my sister in journalism, wants to tell you something. It's not just tell, it's just she wants to sing you a song.
Oh.
Na bruma leve das paixões que vem de dentro, tu vem chegando pra brincar no meu quintal. No teu cavalo feito do cabelo ao vento, e o sol quarando nossas roupas no varal.
Tu vens, tu vens,
tu vens, e eu já escuto teus sinais.
Thank you, Pia. We planned to play this on guitar, but I don't know how to play the guitar, and Gabi doesn't know as well. But we wanted to sing this for you, and I hope you like it.
Obrigada.
De nada. Thank you so much, Pia.
Wow.